Yes, people, we're back. You get me? This is the second episode of Extra Hours. You get what I'm saying? And, this one, it was only right to get Shocka on because today, even you can say tomorrow to be fair, it's a very, very special day. Shocka is releasing his debut album. Vulnerability is the what? Is the new cool.
Yes,
you get me?
Sir.
My brother, before even anything, bro,
Yes.
congratulations with your new album.
Definitely
You get
congrats,
me?
man.
Thank you, my brothers.
Like, how you feeling? How you feeling about your debut album finally being released?
Oh my God, it's overwhelming, bro. I've been working on it for last project I dropped. Last time we spoke was Impact Over Numbers Times.
Yeah.
And that was 2020. That's 4 years ago. So I've been working on this project on and off for 4 years. And as you can imagine, I'm having my own self-doubts of it's old.
Yeah.
Even though the concepts are timeless and the music's timeless, but as artists or creators, you just have doubts anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm doubting myself that it's old, but I was always getting reassurance that it's old to you, but it's new to your supporters.
Yeah.
So
Because even quickly say something I hear a lot of artists say that quite often as well. I've made these songs a year or two ago, they're old to me. But always, I find it intriguing, what you just said, it might be old to you, but as long as the music is still good, I feel you can still release it. You get what I'm trying to say?
But it's because your life moves on.
Yeah.
So you listen to some of the music and you be like, I'm not in that place again. It's I got a song on my album called It Ain't the End. And I say something I got section 3 times, you can't pretend. But now I've been section 4 times. So I'm listening to it thinking, oh shit, at that time it was 3. And I was probably writing that thinking it's 3 times, this is the last, and you just never know. I didn't know there was going to be a 4th. Do you know what I mean? So you never know what's going to happen. So I'm listening to that song innocently thinking, I went into the studio bossy that day thinking,
this is my last time, I'm
this
never
is my
coming
last
back
time.
again.
I mean, so it was
Predict it, man.
so you can't predict it. So you grow so much, and I've grown so much since that album. But I'm onto my second one. I'm 4 tracks into the second one.
And also, obviously, you got quite a lot of people, like I said to you off camera, yeah?
Yes.
You got people who, have known you from day one.
Yes.
And obviously, those kind of people have known you from music.
Yes.
You get what I'm trying to say? And obviously, over the last few years, you've had quite a lot of success within, the mental health sector.
Yes.
In terms of the key word here, balance, moving forward now with your album, but also on the other hand, you've got, all of this amazing work you're still doing for mental health.
Yeah.
Moving forward, how do you plan to try to balance the music with obviously all of the work that you're doing as well?
I think I'm at a place now where it's easier to balance the music. Because I think the problem that artists have musically is always financial. Being able to book studio, being able to shoot videos, being able to pay for radio pluggers, being able to pay for PR. And I had that problem for ages. But now, thank God, I've got the mental health activism that I'm doing that's bringing in income. It takes away the pressure from music. I don't have to worry about does this album have to make me all this money, or I can do it purely. I think there's 2 types of artists. There's the artists that do it pure from their heart. Then there's the artist that's doing it with their intention just to make money. And those artists I've noticed don't go far. The ones that do it pure, that's trying to make great art and give a contribution to the world, they're the ones that usually go far. And I've always wanted to be the contribution artist. So I had to put myself in a position where I can contribute. Because if this wasn't working, then as much as I want to contribute, I'm still going to be thinking, I need to make money from... Obviously, I want to make money from music. Of course, I would love to make money from my art. But that's not the sole intention. Do you know what I mean? If someone told me tomorrow, if someone went to a psychic tomorrow and said, tell me about vulnerability is the new cool, and the psychic said, it's not going to make no money, I'm not going to be that upset, because that's not what I do it for. If the psychic said it's going to touch millions of lives and it's going to help so much people in a positive way and it's going to spark new change, but it's not going to make that much money, I won't be that upset. Whereas there's certain man where if the psychic said, this is not going to make no money, they're going to say, no, read it again. I mean, didn't read it again, are you sure? Do you know what I mean? Because that's solely what they're doing it for. So I think having another stream of income, it takes off the pressure and you can have fun. With music, it's something I think me and I will talk about this every single time. With music, having fun is literally the cheat code.
Of course.
Because that's how you can be creative and try new
That's
stuff.
how you got into it in the first
Exactly.
place.
You remember Marvel, and that hasn't changed that much with the colourful jumpers and doing the freeways and having fun. That fun energy, like it just translates, man. It just takes you as far as you want to go. And I always want to keep that fun energy, even though my music has serious topics.
Yeah, of course.
But like the way I deliver it is still creative and still fun. There's a difference between preach. Oh, 1 second.
Oh, good.
No. We've got to do this right. Okay. There's a difference between preaching and like, you know what I'm saying, communicating a message. It feels different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I never want to be looked at as like someone that's like preaching. I always want people to genuinely feel like my music is coming from a pure place and it's like authentic and.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally.
And it's creative still, instead of like, oh, he's just trying to beat this message down off. This project's more fun. And I think that's why like the feedback and this project's more fun because there's bare bangers on it. Whereas my projects it's never like that. There's always like one or two. So like Kenneth is a King had Be Yourself.
Yeah.
That was like the banger, or King Kenny or something. Maybe those two. Then Conscious Crowd had Self Love and Single Mothers. 2 again. Then Impact Over Numbers had Good Fathers, World Love, Running, maybe 3. Whereas like Vulnerability is the New Cool. There's like no skips if I'm not trying to boost my own ego. Like there's bangers on there. There's Good Times on there. I Cry Sometimes is on there. New Rich with me and Gecko's on there. Unite, the drum and bass song. Good Girl Bad Time and the Mid Double. That's 5 I just mentioned already. Like it's just. I'm so proud of this project.
People got a lot to look forward to.
Yes.
No, that sounds real.
There's something for everyone.
No, that's a good thing.
There's something for everyone.
People like, you know how their attention span is not so, you know, they like to move on things quickly.
Yes.
So yeah, this is good, man.
Definitely. I can't wait to do the show, man. Hopefully I see you lot at the show.
Bro, what expectations do you have for your album? If so, if you got any, like.
That's a good question, you know. What expectation do I have from my album? Maybe what I was talking to you about off the camera before we was recording.
Yeah.
About the album spreading through word of mouth. I think that is success.
Yeah.
Because that means people are like using their free will, free marketing to like share your project for yourself. And you can't buy that. That's what these companies are trying to get influencers to, that's what they're paying them for.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That influence they have over their supporters, and like, you can't buy that.
No, that's like the main foundation.
Yes.
When you look at the overall scale of things.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that'll be success for me. People coming up to me saying, yo, I didn't know who you was, but one of my friends recommended your album to me, and ever since I've heard it, I've been hooked.
Yeah.
That's what's happened with my book.
Well,
the amount of people that
something can't buy that because they felt they've either experienced something similar, or they've got a relative that has also gone through that.
Yes.
You can't buy that.
Yes. So it's like, I think just my obviously I got other goals as well. I would love a Mercury. I've always wanted a Mercury Award. The reason I want a Mercury Award is because that award celebrates albums.
Yes.
Strictly. Like the whole award show is just for albums. And I'm an album artist. I've never been a single artist. I put pride in the body of work. So to win a Mercury for the album, that will be like a dream come true. So I've got a few goals. I'd love to win a Mercury for the album, or a album. Doesn't have to be the album. Any album. I'd love to win a Mercury. I would love to tour. Because touring in Marvel days with Chipmunk, Skepta and Diversity, that was some of the best times of my life. Just doing a show every single day. Do you know what I mean?
I can imagine.
Thousands every single day, and the after parties and having fun, and like, it was a good time. So I'd love to do my own tour this time. Supporting, I wouldn't say no to a support act if it's the right act. Yeah. But I'd love to do my own tour. People coming out to see Shocks. And I get to put someone else as a support act to my tour, and they get to experience what I experienced. That would be it.
Do you think you would be as vulnerable as you are now if you never went through everything you went through, basically?
I think about that all the time. I always think about it, because I think pain-wise, the pain I experienced,
Yeah.
I always think like if I didn't get sectioned, then like I would never experience that pain, and like because there's so much things I haven't even shared with people that when you see me winning, just know that he deserves it, because like there's so much things I've shared, but there's so much things you lot didn't get to see. No one saw my hospital experience. You lot weren't with me, so you don't know what I actually experienced. So pain-wise, I'll probably take that away. But then again, that pain is what like shaped me.
Yeah, of course.
But then I always think like, if I didn't get sectioned and Marvel blew, then maybe I'll take the section history away. Yeah. Because like, we blew, do you know what I mean? But like, if I didn't get sectioned and the Marvel thing still ended up how it ended, it doesn't make no sense.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make no sense.
Yeah.
But then again, this is where it gets tricky, because we was young as well. So if Marvel had blown as young as we was, would I have developed the character that I became now?
Good question.
Because I was really, everyone knows me. I used to call myself Floyd, and like I was cheeky, and I was really cocky and egotistical at the time. So like, could that have got worse?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I needed this humbling to like find the grounding and be a human being. Whereas like, could I have been on this high horse where like mental health day will come and I'm laughing at people that are celebrating it? Because I don't understand it and I'm so like disconnected from like everyday humans.
That's actually.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's people out there that is like that. Like our parents, like our older generation, they look at World Mental Health Day and think, what are you not talking about?
Exactly.
What stress are you dealing with? What is this?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, and then there's not just our parents' generation, there's like a younger generation as well that's disconnected too. That just think like, oh, what are you lot on about? Just get on and deal with it. So I don't know what kind of human I could have turned out to be, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, that's a good question though.
And obviously the times back then was different, because you're in an era where like grime was like popping.
Yeah. No disrespect to grime at all, I'm a child of grime. Grime taught me everything, but most of my maturity came outside of grime. It came from like, I think hip hop's a really mature genre.
It is, yeah.
Or 1,000,000%.
Really, like Tupac was flipping, running around bald-headed, talking about being against the world at like 22.
It's true.
We're still learning from
When
his
I look back on
principles.
it now, I was like,
Bro,
wow.
we're still learning from.
I don't want to come up.
We're still learning from his principles and philosophies now. And we forget he was 20. Do you know how young 25 is? He was 25 years old when he died, with the wisdom of like a 60-year-old. So like hip hop really grew me, whereas like grime, grime's not that kind of genre. Do you know what I mean? That you go to learn principles. There is artists that's got principles and wisdom in grime. I think Skepta, like I've learned so much from Skepta, from like his music, from his interviews. Skepta's one of my favorite artists ever in the whole UK. I just think he's just the sickest. The way he reinvents himself. Do you know how difficult it is to reinvent yourself after being in an industry for like 10, 15 years? There was a bit where Skepta was doing Rolex sweep, do the Rolex sweep. Then from Rolex sweep, he had that song Peace Not War, and he was in that spiky kind of black jacket. Then from there, he disappeared, came back. Then he's in the night tracksuit with the thing. Then now, he's wearing in the mains and doing DJ Mass Tiempo. Like, bro.
So many different
reinventions and different bro, it's epic. Whereas like you got certain people that's been the same for like they can't even switch it. Can't even switch the flow, let alone switch the brand.
Yeah.
So it's like, Skepta, I've learned so much from Skepta's journey.
Like for you, what do you think is one of the hardest things? Because like we can speak about it in terms of like reinventing yourself over and over again. Because all of us here know, like, when we talk about, some things are easier said than done, basically, that famous saying, innit? You get me? Not everybody can actually, keep on reinventing themselves, right? Like for you, like, what was, not even the hardest thing, for you, do you still feel like you're still in that transition mode to a certain degree, or you feel like right now, you're at a stage where you're gonna be for quite a while, if you get what I'm trying to say?
I feel like I've left room for growth. I think when it gets hard for people to reinvent is when you come in at like such a high level. I remember G Fresh, big up G Fresh as well, that's my guy. But I remember I used to read comments and they used to be like, it's hard to want to push him up there because he looks like he made it already. Because G Fresh was boasting with it, he had money, he's already cool before he come in. But like, that kind of works against you in the music industry because they look at it like, we're trying to push you up to get money to win, but you've already got it. Do you know what I mean? So you got to leave room for growth. And I feel like I've left a lot of room for growth. People still haven't seen me as a family man. Do you know what I mean? So like there's still albums to come where I'm going to be talking about my kids and my wife and like, do you know what I mean? People ain't seen me with money. You know what I mean? So there's still albums to come where I'm going to be talking about battling about how to still keep grounded with money. Do you know what I mean? There's so much changes that I've yet to make that I haven't made, luckily. Whereas like some people already have all those changes, and it's like where do you grow to?
Yeah.
And artists love to grow with supporters love to grow with an artist. I love to as well.
Sick.
Like I've seen Kendrick. I've been supporting Kendrick for years now, and I've seen him grow into this icon. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I've seen him go from like tweeting on Twitter to now he can't even tweet because anything he says is like global news. I know there's days he probably want to wake up and just send a bone out. But like he can't even do that.
Yeah, he has to be cautious.
He has to be cautious. So it's like that's another thing that I'm yet to see how I'm gonna deal with fame. No one hasn't seen how I'll deal with fame in the spotlight. Because like Chef's always saying to me like, you're mad humble in the way you conduct yourself, but I haven't been tested yet. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
I'm not extremely. Call me when I'm extremely famous and let's see. Do you know what I mean? Say, yo, bro, can we do another extra hours and see, and then we know what's really going on. Like right now, it's easy. It's kind of still easy for me. Do you know what I mean? So like, I ain't really been tested yet, and I feel like you don't know until you get. I was telling, we were talking about this. Even financially, you can always say like, I'll never change. I'll never disrespect no one over money. When that 100k or 200k hits your account. And you start telling people, call me back. And you start like, bro, it happens. So like, you got to get tested.
Yeah, it's true.
Like what I was saying when I was on the song, saying I got section 3 times. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm looking back like, oh, rah, it's 4 now. Do you know what I mean? Like I got tested and that. So like, you just never know. So I'm always cautious because like, that's, especially with that question when they ask you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? That question always makes me feel like,
regular question.
because like you just never know. I plan, no. I know where I'm going, but I leave room for like how it's gonna happen. Do you know what I mean? I think knowing what you want to do is the most important thing ever. When I have kids, that's the first thing I'm gonna tell them is that if you can find out what you want to do as soon as possible, then the rest of the journey is smooth from there. It's like if we want to go to Crystal Palace now, the fact we've got Crystal Palace set, however way we get stuck on the way, we can always stop someone and say, how do we get to Crystal Palace from here?
Yeah.
And they can guide us. But if you don't have that Crystal Palace, where are you going?
Exactly, yeah.
You're just roaming around. Do you know what I mean? So it's like me saying I want a Mercury album, how I told you.
Yeah.
I don't know when the album will come. I don't know what it will sound like, but it will shape itself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like me always knowing I wanted like a classic album and I wanted an album that's going to impact. I didn't know the album was gonna drop on 10/10/24, which is World Mental Health Day.
Yeah.
I mean, it just shapes itself around your intention. So like your intention should always be clear. So I've always got a clear intention, but the plan is not really. I'm not really like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fluid with the plan.
Have the ideas. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the Bible says it. The Bible says, man makes the plan and God directs your steps.
100%.
But man has to make the plan first for God to direct it. There's no plan. That's why some people are like, God, why don't you help me? And he's thinking, tell me the plan. And then I will, do the rest of the work. Yeah. There's man at home like, God, I'm broke. Why don't you help me? He's thinking, bro, didn't you read the scripture? It says, man makes a plan and God directs it. So make the plan. And then I'll do the rest.
You know that? Within the motherland, innit?
What, to go back home to visit or to take this work I'm doing back home? That's
to be fair, both. To be fair,
okay,
both.
to visit.
Yeah, to visit, yeah.
To visit, I'm thinking December. I've been talking to my family about it. I would love to. We'll see what happens anyway.
Yeah.
But that's what I meant by setting the intention. We'll see what happens. If it's meant to be December, it is. But like, I would love to, man. My grand just turned 90, and like, I was just saying, it would be a beautiful thing for her to see all the kids and all the. That would be beautiful to see that before, if anything was to happen, to know that like, wow, all my kids. You know what I mean? So like, that's my vision. I've always envisioned it. If I was financially in that situation, I'll pay for everyone's ticket and just make it even easier, so they've got no excuses. You just got to bring yourself. Yeah. But I'd love to. I'd love to. But in terms of work, I haven't really thought about it yet. Yeah. Or the opening hasn't come. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm a kind of man where like, if the invitation comes to me, if someone from Nigeria says, "Oh, I love what you're doing, you should come do some of that here. We really need it here." Then we can collaborate on it. Yeah. But in terms of me like trying to figure it out myself, I don't know.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Across Nigeria, Africa's a whole different ballgame when it comes to mental health.
Exactly.
I feel like different people have different roles to play. There's probably mental health advocates out there already.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like I might be, remember I was talking to you about seasons? How everything happens in certain seasons?
Yes.
I feel like this has just been the season for me to do it in the UK.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there might be a season coming up where it's going to be more international. Like I just did a talk in Hungary in, when was that? April. And that was like, that was my first international like situation.
But this is the groundwork though.
This is the groundwork, and it started from here. They saw me from there and said, "Come out here." Do you know what I mean? So like, maybe someone from America will see me, then Africa, then I'll slowly start building in those regions. So we'll see what happens. But I would love to though.
Yeah.
I'd love to like challenge their minds because like, I would love to challenge their mindsets in Africa, especially.
Yeah. Obviously, right now we're entering winter, yeah?
Yes.
And obviously for many years, so many people have said, I don't know what is the logic, if it's just the cold or there's more behind it in terms of like people's mental health getting even worse during the winter time. Obviously when the weather's shit. Obviously we know like the sun makes you feel better, whatnot, innit? Like, in terms of like certain people like really like, you know, like doing certain things, you know, looking after the mental health during this season of winter that we're getting in, like, what advice would you have for certain people, or even for yourself, to be fair? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, because I feel like, I don't know, there's this thing about winter where it's like, you get this vibe of like, oh, winter's here again, oh, there's gonna be more people suffering from mental health.
You know why?
Through this
Because
season, you
winter's
get me?
a lonely period.
Talk to
I
us.
mean, like in summertime, you can even if you don't have no girlfriend or family or friends, because the weather's hot, you can just come outside and just chill in the park with people that's got family and friends, and you can blend in and pretend like, you know, you're one of them. Whereas at winter time, you can't do that. No one's chilling outside in winter time. Everyone's indoors with their families. So the people that don't have families or have relatives or people that's passed, someone's lost their wife or like, you're lonely. So no one want to think about the winter time because that's like that's why they keep saying, what does Gail say, winter time, when they say get your, what do they call it, your cuffing season. You know what I mean? That's what they call winter time, cuffing season. That's the time where like, get someone with you because it's gonna get cold. And, you know what I mean?
You need someone to hug up onto.
You need someone to hug up onto, and it's gonna get dark late and like, I mean dark early. So that's what winter time is not. It's not a good time for most people in the UK. But I feel like if you're a purposeful person, it doesn't matter if it's winter time, summertime, or spring, whatever it is. You're gonna be occupied on what you're doing anyway.
Yeah. Work is work.
Work is work.
There's a lot of people who obviously you see like within music, like obviously there's a lot of people who they're making music with like a message, you get me? Meaning obviously the music that you make as well, you know, there's always a message in there with mental health and so many other things in there as well, yeah? Do you ever feel like sometimes within the UK music industry, you're definitely in your own lane, or you see certain people who you not compare yourself to, but you feel like, this person is in my lane, that person is in my
definitely.
lane. Like music wise, because bro, I feel like you're in such a unique like lane where I think to myself sometimes, is there some people that could compare to Shocka, or is he in his own like?
I feel like
You're
I feel like mental health wise, I'm definitely unique. I don't think there's never been anyone like me mental health wise. That anyone that's been sectioned 4 times and managed to come out of it and still be able to articulate themselves the right way. And
what they haven't come out.
That's what I'm
saying.
That's why I said mental health wise. So I get why I get all this attention. I see my emails. It is filled, and I'm so grateful to God. And I get it because I get it. So it's we want to talk to the person that survived it, or keep surviving it and fighting back. So I get it. Musically, there's plenty. Like I think Kendrick called it human music. He goes, people that talk about like deeper subjects and try to touch people, it's called human music. And he goes, there's different artists inside human music. So you've got Kanye West. College Dropout was human music. You've got Kid Cudi. You've got J. Cole. Then in the UK, who makes human music in the UK? I'll say Rich 32. I'll say Dave. I'll say Pot and Paper. Chip. There's different artists that make human music. So like in that bracket of human music, I'll be in there. But then in the mental health one, it's like me. That's my own.
You're
I'm cruising. I'm separate. I'm separate.
Yeah,
I'm separate.
You're still in there.
Yeah, I'm still. Yeah.
There's another section where that's
because it's like how I like to look at it is like if someone needed someone for something, how many names would they look at to call? So basically, if I needed someone for a basketball advert, the first name that will come to my mind will be LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
He's the biggest. He's the first name.
Mm-hmm.
If I needed,
Steph Curry.
look at when Diddy came to the country and he needed to do a grime remix. Who was the first person that got the call?
Gigs.
Skepta.
No.
Remember the Hello Good Morning? Skepta. You know what I mean? And then look at the Americans when it comes to UK rap, it was Gigs. You know what I mean? So it's like you want to put yourself in a position where like you want to be that first name they call. So it's like if they're looking for a mental health advocate that's black, young, Shocka, straight away. Yeah. Everyone will point, get him. Whereas like if you're looking for someone that does human music, I will be in that list, but I might not be the first one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
They might be, let's get a Rich.
Yeah.
Let's get Pot. There's other ones. Whereas like in the mental health one, I'll probably be the first name you think of. Which you want to be. In life, I think that's the best space to be in. If you can be that first name, like if I say I want a famous golfer, we're gonna think of Tiger Woods like straight away.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's what everybody knows.
Exactly, and then if he's not there, then we'll start searching for the rest.
For the McElroy and all
yes,
of that.
exactly.
Yeah.
So human music, I feel like what my goal would be, I would like to make myself like the first, and that's what I'm trying to do with these albums. I'm trying to cement myself because it takes a lot to make because you got to put a lot of work in for people to trust you as that brand. The reason why we say Tiger Woods is because we've seen he's done some shit.
Yeah.
He's shown us some stuff.
So,
do you know what I mean? Like
even to the controversies and all of that.
Look at him. Even if I was to, alright, cool. Let me just give you an example now. Race the Grand Prix. Who's the first name that comes to your mind?
Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, obviously before it was Michael
Yeah,
Schumacher.
before Michael Schumacher.
No, Lewis
But
Hamilton.
Today.
I could go back to say Ayrton Senna.
If we're going back.
But
I'm saying today, if you was to ask the average person on the street today,
Lewis Hamilton.
maybe if you say who's the legends in that,
legends,
you might get a Michael Schumacher.
Yeah. Or a Senna.
Or them. You know what I mean?
Senna.
Like, even snooker. If I say snooker, who's the first name we're going to say?
I know you're gonna make.
Come on.
What's his name?
I'm waiting for it.
Stephen.
Yeah, what? Stephen what?
Stephen.
Because I forgot it too, so I'm waiting for you to say it.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for someone to say it.
I've forgot it.
But I know who you're talking about. Do you know what I mean?
Stephen-
That's the only name we know. That is the only. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
It's the Irish. It's Irish. Is it?
Yes, I think he is.
Yeah.
What's his name again?
Stephen something.
Right, you're making me wanna. I'm gonna.
But
That- you know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll get the point though.
He's
We'll get it.
D1.
Yeah.
So you want to be D1 in that field.
Do you ever get overwhelmed in general?
What? Oh. Bro, you see that trip I told you that I went to in Hungary in April? I had a breakdown out there. That was my first international trip and it was so overwhelming. I've done stuff when it comes to music.
Yeah.
I've gone to Napa and all these places to perform, Finland and New York. But speaking, this is my first international one. I've never been paid that much. Do you know what I mean? The pressure was different. It was a university. I walked into the university and my face was big all over. This is a different country, you know? And like, brother, it was overwhelming. And like, I'm not afraid to share that. So like...
How do you deal with them?
Sorry, what do you mean? What do you mean breakdown? What kind of break?
I had a panic attack.
Like say if it, okay.
I couldn't speak. I couldn't talk.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Obviously, because we
Oh, just to make it clear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just to make it clear, like a
just
break.
to make that clear, like, you know.
Yeah, I had a break. I had to fly back home. I went there with two people. Me and another guy was meant to speak.
Yeah.
And like, I had to fly back home. But other things happened as well. So basically, a missing part of the story is, remember I said it was a medical university? So in a medical university, they work on dead bodies.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. So like in our timetable, they had everything we're gonna do, and they had take him through a tour of the anatomy room. Because I was so gassed to be there, I didn't read the timetable carefully. So when I got there, I was like, tour of the anatomy room time. I was thinking, okay, cool, bro. When I got in there,
you saw dead people?
they've got like, I don't know if it's real dead people or what, but it was whatever they was working on in there, yeah? I wasn't the same, bro. Yeah,
So-
I came out there and I lost. And do you know what? I think it triggered so much for me as well. I think it took me back to my mum passing.
One of them ones.
Because remember, I was in the house and my mum passed, so I saw my mum, but it just took me different places. Yeah, it took me different places in a weird way.
So did you, like you said, yeah, like after that breakdown that you had, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, did you end up like doing, like going ahead and doing the talk, or you didn't do
I
the
didn't do
talk?
the talk.
Oh,
I
shit.
couldn't do the talk. Was like, after that tour, the talk was going to be like an hour
And
later.
now we're like, oh shit.
Yeah, I couldn't do the talk. I was like
couldn't?
traumatized, bro. I was traumatized, I didn't do the talk.
Right.
So I had to fly back and then, pick myself up from there.
And did they let you not do the talk?
Yeah,
Or
of
did-
course.
Were they
They have to,
not?
they have to.
they
I'm
have
there
to
for a
go
mental
to-
health event, so they understand.
Yeah.
If anyone understands, they understand
Yeah.
even more.
Yeah.
So it's like I've had moments like that, and you beat yourself up over that, like, oh man.
But do you think, if going back to that situation right now, do you think you could have done it differently? Like going,
No,
like
because
knowing
there was
that
no preparation. The
there's
only
no
way I could have done it
preparation.
differently is if I was prepared.
Yeah,
So say
yeah.
I looked at
That's
the
true.
timetable and I saw that anatomy room thing, and I inquired, what's the anatomy room, and they told me, and I said, oh, can I take that bit out? I would have been prepared.
Oh, so they just threw you straight in there. They
Yeah,
just threw you straight in there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only way I could have been prepared for it.
Yeah.
Because we all know our triggers.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's a trigger of mine. So I would have said, do you know what I mean? So it's like someone that's been stabbed before, and now whenever they see knives, they feel a bit.
Yeah.
And then someone says, oh, I'm about to take you through. Do you know what I mean? And then someone says, I'm about to take you through a tour of a room that's got like all different knives from different countries. But you're going to lose your mind by the time you come out of there.
Straight, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those. So yeah, in terms of what you mean by, so there's different types of overwhelming. Then there's overwhelming, like you know that thing you said you saw me do World Mental Health Day, and it had my face all over the screens, stuff like that was like the hungry thing too. But like that was overwhelming, but it was overwhelming in a good way. I was more excited. So like I do get overwhelmed. We all do, man. We people be lying to you if they say they don't get.
Like, you know, like we tell, sometimes people say this saying, yeah, be careful what you wish for, innit? Because, you know, like, a lot of people want, you know, to be famous, rich, and all of these things. But sometimes, obviously some people know, innit? But sometimes certain people forget everything that comes with it as well. Do you get where I'm coming from, bro? So it's
Exactly.
like, just like my question, literally
Even, I'm
yeah,
so
go on,
happy.
man.
No, I'll finish the question and I'll say what I was going to say.
No, literally just my question was just going to be like, when was that moment when you realized, like, you know, when you went through everything that you went through, yeah? Do you still remember that actual moment when you realized, you know what, bro? I'm gonna need to tell my story. If I'm going to heal, or if I'm gonna need to help certain people, whatever, like, I'm going to need to just be vulnerable.
Yes.
I'm gonna need to be vulnerable and literally put not everything on the table, but I'm gonna need to put literally
As much as I can
as
put
much as I can on the
No,
table.
do you know when that moment was?
You get me?
When I realised that if I'm going to continue music, because I'm a kind of person where like I like to update my supporters with what's going on in my life. And unfortunately at the time, what was going on in my life is that I've just been sectioned. So I had two options. It's either I quit music, so now I don't have to tell no one about my sectioning. I can just got a job, just live my life. And if someone asks me at work, then I might tell a few of my colleagues. Or I come back into music and I put everything on the table and I face the world. And I chose that option because I love music. I'm not gonna. So it depends.
Can't abandon
It depends what happened to me. It just happened to be sectioning. It could have been anything else. I would have still had to come and say it.
But the thing is, even rather than that as well, is rather than you just going to just talking on like speeches and all of that when people book you to do music, you can like
Make songs
you can make songs that let's say your album that you just bought
that heal people.
It's like you're pouring your heart out of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you're giving people what is in your heart.
Yes.
And you're spinning it out to them.
Yes.
Do you get what I'm saying? So
There's a saying that
both
says
of them kind of work in
hand
the
in hand.
same
Yeah.
tangent.
It's true. There's a saying that says what goes from your heart reaches other people's hearts. And that's true. I live by that. And I think what goes from your head reaches other people's heads as well. If you say something clever and intellectual, then people think, oh, let me try and work it out. But if you say something straight from your heart, there's no trying to work it out, bro. It will just hit you it will just hit different. Straight to the heart. So like that's what I try to do with my music. My music's not deep. In my interviews I might get a bit deeper and you know how we're talking now. But if you listen to my music, it's simple. Look, money, bro. Obviously I'm not rich, far from it. But like just getting a little tiny piece of money, just a tiny little bit, just a little piece, yeah? People come from everywhere. It's like they can smell it. It's like an alarm goes off. And it's like, 50 Cent always talks about it. And 50's at a different level, so I can't imagine what he's experiencing.
50, I have to pick up.
But he always talks about like how when you got money, like jealousy starts coming, entitlement starts coming, bro. And then what I'm now facing now is the pressure of like everyone around you knowing that like you're doing a bit okay. So now you have to keep at that level. Whereas like when you're broke, completely broke, people don't see this as a benefit because you're completely broke. So you're thinking about there's no benefits, I need money. But there is a benefit because no one's looking at you for nothing.
And no one's pressuring
no one's pressuring you. If there's a family situation that needs to be fixed, they're not going to come to you. Obviously your ego's going to be hurt because no one's not coming to you to fix it and you can't help. But they don't even look at you. Whereas like when you've got money, you're the first person they look at. And then if you can't provide it, they start looking at you like, oh, what's going on? Is everything okay? Have you fallen? Bro, it's a lot of pressure. So it's like
day to day, you know, week to week, month to month. Like for you, obviously, all of us know here, innit? You're literally like your thing is just gonna get even more bigger, more successful, and obviously with that, God willing, inshallah, and obviously with that, more money and more fame and all of these. Basically, nearly everything's going to amplify even a bit more, if that's the right word, amplify, right? Like how, in terms of like, obviously, once again talking about mental health, right? These kind of things, these pressures or whatever, as time goes by, like again, like God forbid, and hopefully nothing like that happens. Because again, some of these things might in future or whatever.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, like trigger or whatever. You get me? Like
I was just about to say that. I was going to say you don't know how like
you got into that
these
bro.
situations will impact you.
Yeah,
you just never know.
Because at the end of the day, bro, like all of us, like everything that you're doing, regardless of everything that we do, people do, bro, I always take it back to reality. We're all human at the end of the day.
That's why you need to have a mentor. You need to have someone in your life that's been through nearly every experience you're about to go through, and they can tell you about it and they can walk you through. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to have someone on call that you can say, yo, my girlfriend's pregnant. Chef, what do I do here? She's coming in 9 months, and you'll just be laughing like, bro, relax, bro. I just did that. I did that years ago. This is what you do, bro. And it's solved. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like where most of my problems has come from is that I'm always the one that's leading the blueprint and feeding the information back. Do you know what I mean? I'm like the trailblazer. I never had someone to say, yo, Shocks, you've been sectioned. This is what's going to happen next if you don't want to get sectioned again. Boom, 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 boom. I didn't have that. I had to hit my head, get all the information, put it in the book. Now I'm helping other people. So it depends what role you have to play. Some people are meant to be the trailblazers and go first. And then some people are meant to be the followers and get the information and not make the mistake. So God just put me in a position to be the pioneer. So,
bro, even I just want to talk about as well, like in terms of like, you see that people, obviously this is not about the person I'm about to say, obviously, again, young Philly. But this is a bigger picture overall. We spoke about obviously off camera before, But again, this is nothing to do with my man, whatever his private situation. This is just overall me speaking to Shocka directly about, you know, keyword here, trusting people, learning how to, you know, like again, meeting, because bro, you're meeting new people all the time, bro. I see it, bro, and it's like meeting so many different new people, whatnot. Like, how do you decipher? Obviously, you got certain people who say, I read energies. I feel people's energies.
But even no matter how good you read energies, you never know. I think the best way to do it is to have morals and principles.
Break it down to us.
So if you've got morals and principles and your do's and don'ts, once they step in and out of those do's and don'ts, they have to go. Whereas like, if you don't have morals or principles or do's and don'ts, you're just mad free. Do you know what I mean? So like, you can't judge if someone's doing good or not. Maybe say like you've got a tradition in your family that we don't greet people with their left hand, and then the person comes up to you and he's always greeting with their left. Already there, you'll be like, I don't know about mine. Do you know what I mean? So whereas if you don't have nothing, you can't have nothing to judge. How can you gauge Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's like, that's why our parents brought us up with these morals, because when we go out into the world, that's going to be our sat nav of how to, like, you know, navigate through and find your tribe. It's like me, like, you know how I said human music? I know how to detect if an artist is in that bracket because I'm that artist myself and I know what boxes I tick. So you can play me 4 different artists now and I'll be able to tell you that one is human music. Do you know what I mean? Because I know the common things we share. So it's like, whereas like, if you don't you don't know what is which.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because everyone...
It's like a footballer. I think Ronaldo, if all of us was to pass a ball back and forth with Ronaldo for 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, 30 seconds, I think Ronaldo will be able to tell which one of us is the baller straight away.
Yeah, he would.
Oh, of course it was.
Do you know what I mean?
Of course it was.
Because he's so well versed in that, he knows that, oh, you used to, do you know what I mean? That's how it should, that's the only way that you're going to be able to navigate through.
Technique and all of that, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like, bro, once again, today's your special day. You get me? It's a celebration. You get what I'm trying to say. If man them want a drink or whatever, you get me? It's a celebration or something to eat, like I said. Like, if you could put into words, bro, how soon as your album got released, and you knew it was out, finally, it was out there for people to start, you know, like, soaking in, taking in, like, if you could describe the feeling, how you felt, even now, like, how you feeling in terms of, like, if you could put it into words and whatnot, how are you feeling, man?
I stayed up till midnight. As soon as it hit 12, I checked Apple Music. It appeared. I got on my knees. I said a prayer. And I said, yo, like, whatever happens on this, happens on this. And I said a prayer, put it in God's hands. And then I listened to a bit of it. And do you know what's so crazy? All my projects, that's the first time I get to hear it flow through. Because I have my projects on Dropbox, and like on Dropbox, I don't know if any of you's got Dropbox, but on Dropbox, it doesn't flow through. You've got to click it to the next. So this is so I'm actually
it just flows.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it just flow with everyone else, which is mad because like obviously I could find a way to go studio and listen to it flow, but I like that. So like I'm listening to it flow into different tracks. So it's giving me a new feeling because don't forget I've sat with it for the past 2-3 years, so I'm hearing it flow for the first time and I'm feeling like raw. And then the messages start coming through about the songs people like, and that's what I really do it for. Because don't forget, my shows can't sell itself. I can't perform to myself. So like, if people don't, obviously I have to like it first, but like, you want to know that your music's connected. And like, that's what's happening. Like my phone, you've been hearing my phone going off. And I'm sure that's like messages about the music.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
A real quick question.
Yeah.
I watched something the other day, and Nines.
Yeah.
He was on Capital One Extra, and he said it never listens back to his music.
I saw that, and I hear him.
Do you listen back to your music?
I do.
And do you like your take on what he said?
No, definitely.
But then, in your own words.
I do. It's like when I was telling you about the I'm Fine song that everyone likes.
Yeah.
The song's not mastered. It's the only song in the album that's not mastered and it's not mixed.
Yeah.
But that's the song everyone likes.
Yeah,
so like this thing is crazy.
Yeah.
You can never predict
never
it.
know, yeah.
I was gonna take that song off because I couldn't get it mastered in time and I thought the volume might be a bit and I thought, you know what? What I'm talking about is so powerful and fixing the concept. Let me just put it on there. And I put it on there and then every time I ask people, what's your favorite song? Oh, I like I'm Fine.
Yeah.
I ask another one. Oh, do you know which one I really like? That I'm Fine one. I'm like, bro, so you just don't know. People's taste is completely different. Like all the ones I paid big money for to master, you know, they don't like that one. They like the raw one that came straight from my soul. And in terms of what you're saying about what Nine said about not listening to his music, I'm like that too. Once my music's done, I might go back to it, listen to it when it's fresh. But after that, I leave it for a while. I'm not like some people at Double S, for example. He listens like my brother Double S. He can listen to his music 24/7 and listen to himself. So artists are different. I'm the complete opposite. Yeah, Dubs is. You know what Dubs is like.
So his thing may be that he wants to perfect it.
It could be that, or some people just love listening to their music and just feel like
just put it out there and they're like, this is what you're getting from me, and take that.
But some
Whether
people
you
might
like
just
it or
feel
not,
like
then,
I'm the
yeah.
like Lil Wayne. I don't know if you saw that Lil Wayne interview when he says
Yeah,
he stays in his boat. He don't listen to no one else but himself. So that's what I'm saying. Some people are different.
Yeah.
I've met people like Dubs. That's the reason why I use Dubs. That's my only example around me that I know that like Dubs listens to himself, his own self. Whereas like I'm the complete opposite.
And I
I'll
think
listen to myself for like a week.
The yin and yang.
Yeah, it just depends what kind of person you are.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person, once I'm done with it, I'm done with it, then I move on.
family-wise, man, you know, like settling down, having kids. Like, how often do you think about that, just in general?
I think about it a lot, especially at the age I'm 36 years old. I don't know if all of you have got kids. I know you have.
Yeah.
I got 2.
So you can feel, how old are you?
35. Just
So yeah, you know what I mean? So you can probably feel me the most. So like, someone was saying like, when you don't have kids in your 20s, it's kind of celebrating. Like, oh yeah, don't worry, man. You're young. You know, keep grinding. You know what I mean? You've got your whole life ahead of you. Then someone said that kind of works against you in your 30s. When you don't have kids in your 30s, people look at you like, what's wrong with him? Is there something going on there? Or like, do you know what I mean?
Especially if you're
I get
African.
that from the
Especially if you're African. So it's like,
African.
exactly. So I'm in that place now where people are looking at me like, maybe girls I might meet, just talking to, and they see it, they like, oh, you don't have kids? I'm like, no, how old are you? I'm like, they're like, oh, wow. Why? Don't you do all these questions? So you have that pressure.
Yeah.
So you got to be really firm within yourself, because it can put extra pressure on you and it can drive you crazy. But for me,
Do you feel
I'm
the
the kind
pressure?
of person where like I don't take kids lightly, and I've always wanted. I feel like every generation should be better than the next. Do you know what I mean? My mum did better than her last generation. Her last generation was in a village. Then they came to the city of Nigeria. Then she came to London. Then I'm meant to take my kids out of the hood. Then they like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every generation should get better. And I just feel like I'm just not in that position yet to like give my kids the head start that they should have. Some people have kids unplanned, so I can't really put them in the category because it wasn't their fault in the first place. But if you're in a situation that I'm in, where like you can actually plan and prepare for it, for you to plan consciously and still have your kids come into an unfortunate situation, it's kind of cruel, bro. Yeah. It's kind of cruel. Our clock's different to women.
Yeah, exactly.
Women,
exactly.
bro, they're eggs
Thank
by the
you.
time you're 30. But
Thank you very much.
who's that actor? Is it Robert? Who's that?
No, Leonardo.
Not Leonardo.
No,
There's
no,
an old
no,
one that
no.
just had a youth.
Oh,
Robert De Niro.
Is it
Robert
Al
De
Pacino?
Niro. No,
Robert De
Robert De Niro, bro.
No, Al Pacino.
No,
It's might be Al Pacino, isn't it? Is it Al
It's Al
Pacino?
Pacino.
I think it's Al Pacino.
Yeah.
It's
Or
one
Robert-
of them two.
One of them
Robert
two.
De Niro.
One of
It's
them
one
two
of
just
them
dropped
two.
to you at like.
Yeah. No, but
I saw the
it's
no,
Al
why, 'cause I saw the
Pacino. I think
picture.
it's Al Pacino, the one that likes the young.
Also, I know it's one of those two.
It's
One
one
of
of
them
them.
just dropped to you at like 7.
Yeah.
70.
Quickly
Yeah.
70,
Yeah.
bro.
Nah, it's Al Pacino.
Yeah, Al Pacino,
I'm
one
gonna,
of them.
say it's Al Pacino.
Bro, so
Bro, check
70.
it before you make
I'm gonna
it.
say it's Al Pacino.
So they can correct it anyway. They'll put it in the comments or whatever.
Yeah,
One of them just dropped to you
bro.
70. So like the men's clock is different. So it's like,
I'm gonna say it's Al Pacino.
I'm not saying stretch it that far. That would be ridiculous if I
Yeah,
pop
yeah.
up to you like 70, like yo,
Yeah.
man's having my. It's like you're bugging. But men can stretch it a bit more. So if you can get yourself just a bit
In
more
the right place.
in the right place.
state,
Obviously,
right
you never know
state.
what can happen in life. Anything can happen. But if you can get yourself in the right place, why not? Have your foundation set. Have
As
your
long
foundation
as you
set.
have the foundation set, yeah. This is
Because
what
everyone
I
keeps
was
telling
saying,
me that.
yeah.
Remember I was saying how you should have mentors that's gone through what you've gone through
Yeah.
and feed the information back to you? All my friends around me that's had youths are telling me the same thing. They're like, Shocks, trust me. Chill out, bro. Get yourself just a bit.
Yeah.
Trust me, this shit is expensive. Like, I had no idea. They're telling me. They're like, bro, obviously you don't know. They're like, bro, I had no idea, bro.
Bro,
Like-
the thing
Because
is,
money
it's
breaks
a
up
life-
relationships.
Yeah, it's a life lesson.
Yeah.
The name of your album, bro.
Jesus.
Bro, you could have chose any name in the world. You get me? Like vulnerability is the new cool.
Yeah.
You get me? Before we go, you get me? Like, why did you choose this name?
Yeah.
What does this name mean to you?
Vulnerability is a new cool. I've said this before. I was doing an Insta Live with someone.
Yeah.
And it was a mental health Insta Live, and she just started reading off the stats of like black men being sectioned and the suicide rates. And obviously, we all know the suicide rates is mad high, and we know the section rates with black men or even all men. But when you see the actual stats, something just clicked in my head. I was like, bro, you've got your debut album coming up. It will be almost a sin if it wasn't mental health related in any sort of way, especially knowing your journey. So I was like, what can I do to help? And then I thought, okay, let me use myself because I always use myself first as the test. Because we're all human beings. So if it works on me, it's gonna work on you. So I'm like, what helped me? How did you get out of all of this? You've been sectioned, you've had suicidal thoughts, you've been through depression. What helped you? And I was like, it was vulnerability. It was vulnerability. It was being able to like express myself. Maybe not even just to my friends, but even in my music. Being able to get that out of me somehow. And that's when I started studying vulnerability. And I was like, okay, let me see what vulnerability means. And then I saw a video where it was like, the word vulnera in Latin means wound. And ability is your ability to go into your wound. Do you know what I mean? So that's what vulnerability is, your ability to go into the stuff that hurt you. Internally and fix it. And I was like, okay, that's what I've been doing in my music. When I'm making songs like self-love, single mothers, I'm going into those wounds and I'm like fixing it. So I was like, if I can get people to see how cool it is to go into your wounds, even though it might hurt, but the person you'll become on the other side of it once you fix it, that would be a beautiful thing. So I was like, all right, cool. How do I start that? My music. Music's the best way. Let me show people throughout my songs of me going into my wounds.
Up on that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then and that's what I did.
Yeah.
And vulnerability is the cool's hair. Vulnerability is the new cool's hair.
Vulnerability is the new cool. I promise. Last one and we get out of it.
Yeah, go on.
All good, yeah? All good. Like, this one just came up in my head. Just a quick one, yeah? Like, once again, we spoke about this. I feel like this one is very, very important to let certain people know once again in terms of like balance, like what we spoke about, your music and your mental health work, you get me? Like for those people who, obviously, like I said, who might see you do the work they do for mental health, and now you're dropping an album, and some of them might be getting a bit confused, like, right, is he letting go of the work? Is he gonna start getting back into music properly? Like, what is really going on? For them kind of people, for those kind of people who are maybe a little bit confused right now, like, what's really gonna be going on? Is he gonna do more music or whatever? Like, before we literally go, what message would you have for those people?
If you go on Netflix and you start, there's a season 1 to 7, and you start on season 7, what's the best thing for you to do?
Start from season 1.
You gotta go back.
To go back from 1 and then work your way up.
You gotta catch up. You can't. I know you want to be on season 7. I know you want to be on season 7 of your Bridges because that's what they're all talking about now. Oh my God, vulnerability is really cool. You want to talk about? You gotta go back because you don't know. You won't be able to get the jokes they're talking about because you missed the other seasons. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, don't forget, vulnerability is the new cool start. So what's the first song? Vent 4. So if you ain't heard Vent 1, Vent 2, Vent 3, Vent 4, you don't know. You're not there. You don't understand why it's such a celebration that I've got to Vent 4. You didn't hear Vent 3 where I was talking about my mom having cancer. You didn't hear Vent 2 where I was talking about not knowing if the generation's gonna like my music. So like you won't know. So to those supporters, I'll say go back and everything's there. All the history's there. Go back, do your work. And in fact, Kendrick Lamar, I became a Kendrick Lamar fan from Good Kid, Mad City. So I was late. I missed out on the Kendrick Lamar EP. I missed out on Overly Dedicated. I missed out on Section 80. I had to go back.
You had to go back.
And then when I did my homework and I got to Good Kid, I was like, oh, I appreciate
got the whole picture.
I got the whole picture. So like, if anyone's seeing me now thinking, oh my God, I just saw you do a TED Talk. I love your talks. What's music? Where does music come from? When are you doing music? Then when they go back, they'll get to this, they'll come back and be like, oh, this makes perfect. In fact, keep doing both of them because I see why you're doing both because they go hand in hand. You know what I mean? But they won't understand it until they go back, so you've got to go back. That's why history's there. That's what history's there for.
It's history, isn't it?
Yeah, it says to know where you're going from, you've got to know where you're coming from.
Yeah,
that's what it's there for.
Yeah. Nah, this is beautiful, man. A celebration, a beautiful day, brother.
Yes.
Once again, congratulations, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, congratulations. And continue, bro. Continue. You get me, my brother. Continue inspiring us.
I heard it yesterday.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I heard it yesterday.
Thank you.
Yo, I went through the tracks.
Thank
I tell you
bro.
what. Yeah, I can't even choose one track.
When you do, though, let me know.
Yeah, I will do, obviously. But I did. Eddie was it kept me up.
Yeah.
It literally kept me up, man.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Everyone appreciates you, bro.
But yeah, my brother, all good.
Yes.
Extra hours.
Extra hours.
You done already.
Yes.
You get me. Peace, my brother, yeah?
Love.
Peace.